Zheng, let me turn to you. We've talked about imports and exports already, and certainly what we've seen, as Dr. Ngozi said earlier, is the force multiplier that trade can have in exporting clean energy technologies around the globe. You at Envision are right at the center of that. Give us a sense of how you see the global energy transition playing out in an economy that is necessarily interconnected, whereas Dr. Ngozi said, these technologies are crossing borders. That's the only way we can scale them at a moment of rising protectionism. Can we have it all?
Right, so Dr. Ngozi mentioned this trade is enabling energy transition. My also adding another perspective, the climate transition is also redefining global trades, redefining global supply chain. This reorganizing is creating so much opportunities, particularly for developing countries. It's going to be a path to a new prosperity. For instance, if you see for next decades, global oil trading routes is going to redefine. We probably can see place like Morocco could be original place for green ammonia. Place like Brazil could be a center for sustainable aviation oil. And you also can see the green steel trading is going to developing. So Australia probably is going to be the export for iron ore. They could leverage the abundant renewable energy, produce hydrogen, then creating sponge iron and even green steel. And you already have seen China is exporting EV and battery at competitive cost. This competitive cost is enabling so much country can produce renewable energy below the cost of fossil fuel. Also have this EV at lower cost than fossil car. So we see this climate transition is bringing significant impact on the global trading routes. And also this new addition is going to create new prosperity for so many developing countries.
And do you believe that this will continue even with what we're seeing as potential new headwinds from the tariffs to the carbon border adjustment mechanisms? There is this moment of sort of ratcheting up some tension, additional protections at certain borders. You believe that the dynamic you just described is strong enough to withstand some of those new roadblocks?
Sure. I think the train has left the station to a right direction. Yeah. And the economics, fundamental economics of renewables is there. You see the green electrons has already shown its competitiveness. 85% new installation for electricity in last year is from renewables. So I believe, so economics is most important measurement and also driver. So, and with the technology development, we see the advantage of renewables and the relative green technology is actually promising.
Thank you, Zheng.
I actually want to make a point about this, what is seen as the trade-off. And to build on what Zhang said, the trade-off between trade, economic prosperity, and the climate. I think Zhang was sort of underpinning. To show that this trade-off may be a false one. To show that, we do have a new climate economy that is driving new jobs, driving prosperity. And my fear is that there may be leaders who we may not be making that point strongly enough. Let me put it that way. There may be leaders not getting that message. And there may be private sector people also not able to internalize that message.
Zheng, I wonder if you could talk a bit about how Envision has actually taken a different approach. Rather than so many companies centralize their manufacturing perhaps in their home country and use that as an export driver for the national economy, Envision has a different approach. You started localizing production in different regions around the globe. Talk about the benefit there, and it's a slightly different spin when we think about global trade.
Right, so we strongly believe is this transition is a just transition, should be an inclusive transition, should be the opportunity for locals and also for the place with those developing countries with abundant renewable energies. So, for instance, as I mentioned, so the climate transition brings the new trades, but the new trades is backed up by the new trading hub. But think again, what's behind the new trading hub is the new industrial ecosystem. This is going to be tremendous new opportunity for those developing countries. So, for instance, like PNG, we could imagine they have, so much abundant renewable energy like hydro and wind. They also have abundant biogenic carbon. This could be a fantastic place to build a net zero industrial park for sustainable aviation oil and also for green methanol. If you build such a net zero industrial park for green methanol, then it can ship to Singapore because it's a global bunkering center for maritime. So then decarbonize global, maritime trades. So I do see lots of, magic is going to happen because of this transition, lots of opportunity for these developing countries to have the new industrial cluster. So that's a belief to make it envision. We also want to help a developing country to create this industrial ecosystem through net zero industrial park.
This deal fits into the WTO's model of re-globalization, encouraging the decentralization of supply chains, decentralization of manufacturing, to be more inclusive into those areas and regions that didn't get it. So they become more integrated into the world and we build global resilience. So beautiful.